Alrighty. Going through my usual setting up of the tablets and such. Make sure everything's pretty cool here. Well, as you can see, I'm starting to hack and I didn't even start yet. As you can see, we got a stag here. What I did for the deer is that I used some tracing paper, and I got an image off Google and carefully traced it on the tracing paper using an ink pen. Then I flipped the pen over and I just used a palette knife and I rub the pattern on the watercolor paper. This is watercolor paper on foam board, you know, my usual. I think it's 12 by 14, I think this is. Okay. And I took a very thin line marker, very thin, and just make the line solid, you know, what I needed for the image of the big buck here. Okay. So that's what I've done as far as that. All right. Hold on one second. There. Okay. The rest of the painting is pretty elementary. I'll keep it somewhat dark just to show this guy off. All right. We'll do pine trees this time, but I'm going to make the pine trees kind of the color of the sky, so it appears to be further back instead of making them bold and up front. All right. Okay, let's look down at the palette for a second. Oh, cad yellow, titanium white. Got some umber here. Phthalo green, Prussian blue, and that ultramarine. All right. Okay. I don't need much glycerin for the sky. Obviously, we're going to start from the back and go towards the front. All right. Okay. Not too much glycerin because just going to pattern out the sky real quick. I go right over the deer. It's all right. Pop it in there real quick. Where I see a little space, I'll just kind of cover that up. Like I say, if I put too much on, I can wipe it away, but I just need it covered up here. It is mainly for the sky, just a nice blend of the sky, even though most of the sky might be hidden by the pines. All right. I highly doubt I'll use this glycerin like this for any other type of the painting because it's mostly rocks and such, and maybe a few bits of grass. Who knows? Okay. Now, because you don't see the edge of this, I'll put it up here. We're concentrating on the sky anyway, but you know, as long as you see the main image. All right. Okay. So let's get to getting here. All right. Let's dip into a little bit of this blue. We'll put it right here. We'll mix in some of this lighter blue-green in there with it, like so. Okay, just mix it in there together. And we'll just kind of pop it in there like so. Now, since it's going to be mainly a lot of trees in this, and I'm just really laying in the paint on here. Now, it's fairly warm in here, so I'm going to kind of really work this thing quickly because the glycerin will dry quite fast. All right, now down below we'll add the A little bit of white, and we'll bleed the white up into that blue. And I'll just keep doing the long strokes here. And I'll bleed all that in there. Long strokes. Yes, I'm going right over the deer, just like he doesn't exist, all right? Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit of Prussian, just a little bit. Usually, it's pretty much on one side of the brush. We'll go up top here, we'll just darken this up a little bit. And fade it in real good. It's not usually the size of brush that I would use for this, but it's okay. Little X strokes just kind of bring that stuff along and gently just push the color. Very light. Just like so. All right. It is just a series of strokes just going left and right. All right. I'm just checking things out here. Now, I still see my cliff face here. Okay. All right. Let's put in some pine trees far away there. Hold on for a second. All right. So, hey Sonia, how you doing? Enjoying that hangout over there? Thanks for coming to the auction, checking things out. Appreciate it. Okay, I'm going to get, I'll use this fan brush. Once again, I want to try to keep the trees a little further back. All right, so I'm going to just tap in a little bit of white in there. And get a good little mix here. Maybe a little darker cerulean in there. Okay, all right. I'm probably going to loosen this paint up just a little bit with a little touch of glycerin. The trees will be a little different. They won't be the kind of Bob Ross-like trees. Like I said, they're going to be in the background back here. So we'll just start some thin, just like this. And I'm going to vary the sizes of these guys. Keep them fairly close to each other. Like that. I'm going down into the rocks. It really doesn't matter at this point. And like I say, these guys, these trees will be further in the back. That's why I'm keeping them kind of the color of the sky. And remember, you're going to paint right through the deer. Act like that deer. Hey Jessica, how are you? Good to see you. Act like that deer isn't there. Go right through. Paint right through that guy. It's all right. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna need some more paint, so I'm gathering some more. Nice little mix. I'm gonna keep mixing it until I get the right shade there, or at least as close as I can. And there we go. Now, because it's kind of warm in here, I just got to be careful. Put some tall ones in there. Now, with the trees in this fashion, I can kind of put them close together. Vary the heights, vary the sizes there. Get some more paint. Yes, it's been a very long day. You're exactly right. Trust me, I know. Kind of a long day for me too. Now you might see my top of my head here. It's just I'm trying to get to the angle. Get some more paint. I flip my brush, put plenty of paint on the bristles there to keep the brush somewhat thin and keep so it looks like the trees do have some bristles on them there. Okay, just like that. Just keep it pretty much. Once again, it will. This tree line is pretty much similar to the color of the sky back there, so it kind of keeps it far away. As far as the rock face is concerned, it'd be a little darker. It'd push up a little bit. All right. Okay, I'm getting a little bit of brown into this blue. We're going to gray it up a tad. All right. Get a little dark brown there. And some darker blue. I'm using this as the basis of the waterfall there. This makes a good under cover for the clouds also. All right. We'll start the wave. Oh, right about here. And we're gonna cover that deer. It's like right in here, like that. And then I'll just block all of that in. Block it right in. Go down below the rocks a little bit. And this is just me. This is just, hey Madonna. Just blocking in the waterfall. Paint right through. If you masked the whatever beast creature you got, it's all right. I put a little divot in the falls there. Okay. Yep. Go paint right over that deer, like he doesn't even exist. Okay. Because if you don't and you start painting, how you doing, Madonna? Thank you once again for helping me out. I greatly appreciate it. Might have been the wrong day for a auction, but it's all right. It's all right. Your stuff and Fatima's stuff, Fatima rather, is already packaged up, so already set and ready. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, you don't really want to lose the flow of your painting just because you got something taped up here. Okay, the black outlines you see, I highly doubt you'll see them when it's all said and done. Okay, that's why I use such a thin marker to do it. Yep, you know it. Okay, we'll use this one because we're just blocking in things right now. Waterfall, technically I can sketch it in now, technically, but we'll wait. Let's get some rock color going. I'll use this 1-inch wide brush, get some of this Mars brown. We'll just put it right here with the rest of the colors. Get some blue. Now, I wanted a little, maybe, well, I'm thinking right now. I'm thinking, should I have it a little more deeper than that? Let's see here, because I got to mix plenty of it for the other side. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to deepen it with the blue here. It's brown and blue, right? Now watch this. I guess I'll use a slight touch of alizarin crimson just to deepen that rock face. I don't want it too crazy because the rocks or whatever I'm going to have in front will be even darker. All right. So we'll put a little bit of that in there. Mix it in there. Just like that. Now, you see the reddish tinge that's coming forth on this, right? And you keep stirring it, it turns this really reddish gray. Okay, now that blue will cancel some of that. It will try to turn purple, but it can't really because of the brown that's in it. This should be okay. Once again, I'm just using this to block in the rocks. Okay, I can use just a slight touch of glycerin just to loosen the paint, just a little bit. I don't dip my whole brush in this, just the tip of the brush, just to loosen it up, because I still want the thickness. I don't want it to be too transparent. But this is enough. Okay. Hey, Sugar Plum, how you doing? Cow? No, it's a stag. It's a big old buck. Okay, we'll start kind of popping this rock. Now the rock has to be higher than your waterfall. That makes sense, right? Just like that, just pop it in there. Now have some of that come out there like that, and then you just block the rest in. It's all blocked in. Okay. And we got a rock here in the front, so I'll just kind of, I always bring the paint down a little bit below where I have the other objects. So when you paint over them, it has more of a natural kind of feel to it. All right, okay. Let's get some more of this. And we're gonna work on the other side. Now the falls here is partially hidden behind Mr. Stag. Remember, make your cliff a little larger than the falls. If not, it's gonna spill over, and that's just gonna make a mess. Yeah, that'll make a mess of things. There you go, just like that. All right, now this guy, he's got all sorts of rocky outcrops going on back there. And once again, we're just blocking it all in here. I should have enough to block it in. Oh yeah, if you were here earlier, you would have seen the full Monty, but he's all covered up. Just like that. Okay, we got to get another mix going. I kind of was hoping that this would be covered somewhat, but nah, wasn't happening. Mix it all in there. Pop in some more blue. Keep mixing, keep mixing, keep mixing. There you go. The reason why I use a simple color palette is because I can mix pretty much whatever color I really need to mix. Okay, and it will show the painter, beginning painters, that you don't need a whole slew of colors to mix. I could put out a whole palette of colors, but they're all going to be mixed and matched anyway. Okay. All right. So, and we'll block all this in. Now I don't have any glycerin. The only glycerin that I am using is the glycerin I'm putting in the paint itself. You follow me? Okay. Yeah, this poor guy will barely be seen when it's all said and done. I'll just block him in. The last time I did something like this, I had a bunch of small cabins. And I did so much woods and shrubbery, I couldn't find the cabins. Because I had put texture all in it and everything. It was just crazy. And of course I did it live. I couldn't find them. Boy, that was something else. I remember that. There. Once again, I'm just blocking in this stuff. All right. And since I don't have no glycerin on the board, this will dry. My room is really, really warm. It's at 90 degrees now because I got the heater going. Okay. But you can still see traces of the guy. He's in there. All right, and you got the waterfall going. All right. Hey, Shane, how are you? Well, Shane, I don't know what time you came in, but there's a stag in there somewhere. Okay. There's a stag in there. All right. Let's play with the waterfall for a few minutes, shall we? Let us actually go into our titanium white. We're going to use this gray. We'll just lighten the gray up here. Okay, we'll use the gray. Okay. For a lesser paint, that would have been enough. I'm going to have to loosen that paint up a little bit. Let's get some more white. Let's get a touch more of this gray in there. This is a hog's hair fan brush. It's a little rough. It's actually an oil paint brush. So it's a little more coarse. All right, you see it here. It's a rough fella. Coarse, strong hairs there. Hey, Bill. Where's Bill? Hey, Bill David. Hey, what's up, Bill? Yes, happy birthday, Madonna. All right, we're gonna pop in those falls with this gray, all right? And then we'll obviously accent all of that. Accent. And we're gonna come here and we're gonna come on straight down, give it a little curve. And just let it do what it do, just like that. Comes to the other side, give it another curve. If anything, I want it really accented on the top. All right, we'll mess with the bottom later. In the center, it just goes straight down. Okay. But just remember those curves. Keep the striations. Keep them curves going. I am painting on top of the tape. And that's okay. Just like that. All right. Okay, let's go a little brighter. Not brighter gray, but we're going to use a little bit. We'll use this darker blue. We'll contaminate this white with some of that darker blue there, like that. Okay. All right. Now, even doing this, you still have texture. All right, it'll help you out. Come here, do the same thing. Bring it right in there. Pop it right in the center there. This is just white contaminated with blue. Okay. And bring that waterfall straight down, straight down. And look at the curves. I'm still continuing the curves. Okay. Like so. Get some titanium, just pure titanium white right in here. Separate the titanium white. Don't press so hard on this stage. Come on down. Bring it straight down. Kind of heavy on the top though. Go on the other side. I just flip the brush over, go on the other side. Put it right in the center there. I'm gonna take some of this white. We'll accent the top a little bit more, just like that. We'll accent over here, even though it won't be seen much, but it's okay. Keep the flow of this guy. Get a little bit more white. Very light touch, very light, boom. Keep going, keep going. Just like that. Let's kind of accent that top a little bit. Bring some of that down in the middle, just a little bit. Now, I'm going to take, add a little character to the waterfall there. Let's take a small brush. I'll take a tiny thin guy here. I'm gonna still take this straight white paint here. Very small flat brush. And we'll get some, we'll use like the corner of the brush and we'll just kind of tap in, look at this, tap in some water lines there. Get it kind of strong in the center there, different varying heights. I'm just taking the brush, I'm just tapping it along so it makes it look like really flowing water there. Keep with the curves. Get some more paint. Get some more paint here. Because I'm using the corner of the brush and I'm pressing, that's where you get those crazy lines from. You see how you build up that froth and it comes to the front? Okay. Let's kind of build it up here on the sides here. Just like that. Okay. All right. Now, let's go back here. I'll use this smaller brush. We're gonna go back into our darker gray. I might have to reactivate that with some of the glycerin here. It's not totally gone. Okay. So I'll reactivate some of this dark paint, and now we'll bring the rocks back. See that? When you put the rocks back into the waterfall, it brings the waterfall back. See that? Get some more of that dark, put it right in there. This is why I did the waterfall first, and then you just cover it back with the dark color. All right. Whoops, that was wrong. I went to the wrong color, but that's all right. Okay. The stag is here. Okay, so he's hiding some of the waterfall, but it does not matter. You continue with the flow of the painting. You keep it going, keep it moving. You paint right through the creature. Because if you don't, sometimes it will look like you deliberately didn't paint on one spot. Don't do that. Paint like that creature's not there. And now you see that the waterfall, it's got that little divot in it. It's curved. All right, because it's still keeping some of that darkness there. We still got some stuff kind of coming together, making the frothy, foamy stuff right there. But essentially, it's at a little curve there. Okay. All right. We're gonna get this, keep this moving right along here. I think what I'm gonna do is do three types of rocks, I guess. I'm trying to say here. I'll show you. Okay, let's do the rocks here. What I mean by three different variances of rocks, I'm gonna do. Oof. This stuff is almost dried up already, so we can get rid of this. Which in a way is a good thing, it's all right. Gives me a nice clean start and do another color mix. So it's okay. Okay. Let's get some brown. A little bit of blue will muddy that up a little bit. I think that will work. That'll work. Oh, we'll lighten it up just a tad. Because the rocks that are coming forward will be slightly darker than what I'm putting down right now. So it's kind of a gauge to how dark you want your rock faces. Okay. Okay. So we're going to add our rocks here, but we're going to do it the Bob Ross style with this one. Okay, so we know you can do the little scrape thing there. So we're going to do that with this. We're going to add 3 different layers probably to these rocks here. All right, there's a few rocks in here. And then we're going to do the flat palette knife tap and drag for these guys. So each set of rocks, each plane of rocks will have a different texture. Okay. All right. Okay, let's start here. We'll take this batch, we'll just flatten it out like that. Why is it flat like that? Well, when you get your little roll of paint, swipe across, you got that little roll of paint. That roll of paint, okay, actually will give you more texture. It'll break easier. Okay, so we'll start from right, yeah, we'll start from right around here. So we'll start here and we'll just kind of play around and add some stuff in there like that. But you see how the paint starts breaking? Okay, and just let it break. Come on down like that. Look at this. This is why I prefer to use a smaller roll of paint, so you can do all of this fun stuff here you see me doing. All right, small roll of paint right here to the edge of this cliff here. Pop it in there like that. And I'll just keep adding it. The larger batches of paint or larger roll of paint, all right, you just have to be a lot lighter with your fingers. Okay, when it comes to rubbing this stuff on. Now, usually Mr. Ross would have a medium on here when he adds this. And you can, because I've done it thousands of times. You can add medium to it. All right, but you also would need a thicker paint. All right, so it won't kind of roll off all looking wild and melt and start melting on you. When the paint starts sliding and all of that, you don't want that grief in your life. All right, something like that. All right, let's take this batch, thin it out, thin it right out. Get you another thin swipe of paint. And we're going to continue the same thing right up in here. I go right across the deer, it doesn't matter, right on the deer. We're going to continue the flow of the rock face even through the deer. Even though this is going to be lifted off, it's okay. Keep it moving regardless. Because once again, you don't want to ruin the flow of your painting. Right between his legs there, rocks there. Okay. Come on down with it. Get some in between there, a little area there. And we can keep it going. Come out here like this. And you can see how it breaks up. Okay. You can do circular patterns like this. Like I said, it all depends on how much paint you use. It just kind of breaks up there. Now, if I had glycerin on here, I can slide and maneuver this stuff, but I don't necessarily need that on glycerin. It all depends on how rough you want your mountain to look. I'll keep that like that. As you can see different crevices and things working out there. Okay. I'll put one there. I'll kind of get a circular one going in there like that. Let's move this camera over here. And you just keep it moving. Kind of brush it over here to the side a little bit. And I'm using a really thin amount of paint doing this. Very thin. And would you believe that I might run out? Look at this. Look at that. I think I ran out. It's kind of sad when you run out and you have to make some more just for a little bit area. Isn't that sad? It is sad. It's very sad. Gee, don't got much blue either. It's all right. But when you have so few colors, you can easily bring it back. That might be a little light. Add a little brown in that. That might work. We'll find out right now. But we only need such a little bit anyway. That'll work. It'll work. All sorts of crazy patterns and dips and stuff with it. I don't even have to highlight that. Won't be necessary. It's in the back there. Doesn't need to be no highlights or anything. Okay. All right, let's move this painting up above a little bit. Careful, careful, gray. Now the way my it's gonna jump on me. The way my camera handle it is stiff when I initially start to move it. It's just the way it's designed. I probably can put WD-40 on it or whatever, but it's just gonna make a big mess, and I really don't want that. Okay, as you can see, we got two different colors of brown here. I ran out of blue. It's okay. We'll throw some more blue in there. Remember, each rock is going to get a little darker. Okay, gradually it's going to get darker, and the closer they are, the more you get some highlights. So we're going to get a little bit of blue into we'll do it with this darker brown. Let's see what this brings out here. We'll bring some of that gray in there. I kind of like that, but I need it a little deeper, just a little bit. Cause remember, what I'm doing here is for the middle rocks. This will be even darker, so just a little deeper, maybe not that much red. We'll pop a little bit of red in there. It's turning a little bit on the greenish side. I want to kill some of that. And you will, the more you mix, you start forming a deeper color. Okay, that's cool. That'll work. Okay, that'll make a good base color. We won't use the palette knife now. We'll use a, I think I'll use the filbert today. All right, hey Jackie, how are you? Good to see you. And once again, now with this style of making rocks, what we're going to do really is pull this up closer so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. Sorry if I give you agita doing all that shaking. I'll put the focus on it here. There we go. Okay, here we are. So, see that? We're gonna block all of this in. Now, I'm not worried about the bottom. It's just the top here. Now, as I block this in, when you block in a massive chunk of rocks, okay, you can pretty much, I'll just do this one too. I'll do the separation later when I highlight. Right now I'm gonna just block it up, block it all in. All of this is rock here. And I'll just keep it, for right now, just one big mass. We'll do the separation when I do the highlights. It's gonna look like one big piece of rock, but it's not. All right, I should have enough of this deep. There's no way on earth I'm gonna have enough deep gray. Let me get a little glycerin, we'll loosen up this paint a little bit. When I run into an issue with not enough paint, I just add some glycerin, it loosens up the paint. I should be able to coax all this along. But I am gonna, when I got that low a paint mix, I'll just, one thing I'll do is I'll do the top. Okay, and then I'll kind of work out the rest down here on the bottom. Once again, I'm just blocking in color. All the detail stuff will come in the lighter shades. I'm going down below where the rocks really should be. It's all right. Just like that. Put it right in there. Doesn't have to go in exactly super perfect. All right. The good thing about glycerin, once it dries, okay, like it's doing here, you see the patches. All right. You can add on another layer to that. It just darkens it. Because remember, when you add glycerin, it makes it transparent. You just add on another layer. It's all right. Okay. Enough of that. Thank you, Jackie. Yeah, I tend to do a mix of everything. I really don't tend to stick to like one subject matter. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I do a little bit of everything, I guess. Okay. Let me see if I can do this for you guys. I don't know if it's dry enough for me to show you. I don't know if it's dry enough, but we're gonna find out right now. Now, I can kind of pick and choose here. Yeah, I guess so. I'll sketch. There go the rock in the front here. That's this rock. The stag is standing on something, but we'll kind of do it like this. Like that. Okay? So you got 3 rocks. 1, 2, 3. You got me? All right. Let's get a little white. We'll mix it here with this, what's left of this gray here. Just contaminate the white a little bit here. Okay, so it's not truly white anyway. We'll just contaminate it, just like that. All right, using this very tiny flat brush. Another style of doing rocks. Now you already did your foundation layer for the rocks, so we're gonna give it some not necessarily a highlight color, but more the natural color of the rock. Make it strong here on top. And as you do it, you see the paint start to break. Okay, but I am going to keep that rockiness sharp on the top there. I'll come here, I'll add a sharp plane here, like that, just make it disappear. Maybe I'll curve it this way. I'm not gonna have all the darkness disappear. That I won't do. You need that. But I am going to at least frame out this rock. I mean, you can have little curves in it. You can make it rounded if you want. Really up to you, is your decision. Okay. But I'm not going to get rid of all of the dark here. I won't do that. All right. These two rocks are primarily the same color. Okay. I can see now the paint's a little thin, so it's starting to, and it's warm in here, so it's starting to dry up, so I'll reactivate it again. Now you can reactivate this paint even with water. You don't necessarily need the glycerin. All right, not necessarily. All right, same thing here. A little stronger here on the top. So, you kind of form it at the top. Let everybody know where let everybody know, generally what color the rock is. So we got various tones of gray happening there. And you see the various hues and shades of the gray coming through. Okay. Get some more. So it's really like dry brushing. Very little paint. And you just kind of rub the stuff on there. And you're getting gentle, and this uses a little bit of water. Getting gentle hues. Now water cuts through glycerin like a hot knife through butter. There's glycerin in here, so it just instantly reactivates, as you can see. Okay. All right. And let's come here. Just like that. So now you're getting a different flavor of rock. Okay. And let the paint work for you. When you put your initial stroke on, of course, it's going to be pretty strong. But lighten up your hand. Lighten up the pressure. And once again, do not get rid of your darks. Now, of course, your eye is substituting certain colors. So obviously, your eye thinks this is black. We don't have black anywhere on the board. All right, but this is the way to substitute black. You got me? All right. Okay. Let's take this white and we'll put it right in there. Make it extremely. Now, for your eyes, it's going to appear white, but of course it's not. It's been contaminated with all this gray and glycerin. But as far as your eye is concerned, this is white, but it's not. Okay, I'm using the side of the brush again. All right, and you put some highlight. There's really no real highlighted focus point for the sun because, well, essentially the sun is actually back behind the trees. So, but all right, right on the top here, very light, just like this, kind of guided along where you think, the direct light would hit. But look at this. You notice that I'm not using an excessive amount of paint for this. Very little amount there. Look at that. Just like so. Okay. And that's probably going to be about it. Not much. All right, let's go to the other guy. But you see, if you're looking here and look here, you see the differences in the rock. One, this style of painting the rock is a lot smoother. If you notice. we got a little highlight there. Let's pop a highlight there. And we'll kind of send it around this way. Of course, it's going to be highlighted here. This is, you know, you slowly got to still show the shape of the rock. All right. Let's put one right up in here like this. Okay. Let's get one sloped here. Just go in one direction and slope it right there. Get a little water, reactivate the paint. Thin paint in heat dries extremely fast. Okay. You can reactivate it a little bit using the side of the brush once again. I'm rounding it off. It's like so. Now, water with anything to do with titanium white, because titanium white leaves a chalky residue. All right, so be mindful of that. In adding water to titanium white, if you don't layer it enough, it'll give the impression of smoke. So let some of this stuff kind of break up and flake up a little bit as you're doing it. All right. I'm adding a little more titanium white because I don't want the paint to kind of, once it gets darker, I don't really want it to like blend into your previous color. So I can kind of bump up some of this stuff just a little bit. All right, so it's got all sorts of smooth divots in it and doing this thing over there. Okay. All right. This guy back here. Well, he's a little darker. I'm gonna get away with this because I probably can. We add a little bit of blue. Slight touch of red in there, which makes it a little purpley, right? Get some of that gray, throw it in there. Or this brownish color. A little bit more blue in that. Just like that. Now look at that variety of gray. Now, when I say gray, it is what I mean. Some of this is a warm or a cool gray. This is a cool gray. That's a warm gray, that's a cool gray. Okay, all right. We need some pattern here. Even back here with this dark rock. All right. And we use a little touch of white in there. Just like that. Not much of a super bright highlight. You don't need that. But you see the color difference here. Okay. Here once again, very light, very light. We kind of let that paint break up a little. Okay. All right. Put it back there a little bit. All right. Okay. Now what you have, I'll draw the painting back a little bit. Now you have so far two different ways to do rocks there. Okay, as you can see. Pop the focus on and sharpen it a little bit. I'll bring it right here. All right. Okay, you got two different variations of rocks. All right. Even though it's gray, different variants of gray. Okay, and you got this one brown mix back there. Okay, that one is definitely further back than these two guys. Three fellas. All right. Okay. Now, for this fella up front here, we're gonna do what I've done, I believe, yesterday, which is the tap and drag for that variance of rock. Let's get the rest of this red. Yeah, let's get a nice chunk of blue. We're gonna get some deep. Yeah, I'm mixing it right in with the gray. Doesn't matter. We're gonna get some deep maroon going here. Now I got white in there, so that might put a little frown in the mix, but we'll see. We'll keep this going here. That white is what's giving it its really pretty purple look, but we can kill that in a second. Add the rest of this in there too. There's ways to make black without using black. Okay. Now with this kind of mauvey, flowery yellow, if I wanted to brown it up, I would just use that yellow you see down here. Yellow and purple are opposites on the color wheel. All right. So if I end up adding the yellow to it, it will brown it out. All right, and it will get to be a very warm gray. Okay, which is starting to turn into that right now. See, if I left a little bit of the original color, you would see the color difference. But look at that. See, you wouldn't think you would get a color like that mixing yellow in it. You think yellow would brighten it up, but no. Two opposite colors cancel each other out. And that's what you're looking at, the cancellation of both colors. It turns gray. That's why gray is a neutral color. All right. Okay, still not dark enough. But gray is such an inviting color. So I'm looking at my limited palette of colors here. I can use, cause I want to deepen that. So, oh, never mind. I got it right here. Hold on for a second. Let me think. No, I won't use that. I use these two. Let's use these two. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna come over here. I'll use a little bit of red. Now I don't know if this version of green is gonna work with it, but because I think it got a little tinge of blue in it, but we'll see. These two colors will cancel each other out also. Okay, it just depends on how much of one color you're gonna use. Blue and well, red and green are once again opposites on the color wheel. But look at this. Look at that color. As I keep mixing, look at that. See how dark that is? That's because they canceled each other out. But they're very strong colors, so it's a very strong canceled out. Almost. Well, this is a reddish brown because I use a little bit more red than the green. Okay. So if I end up using a little more of that green. A little more of that green in there. I don't need too much. And it'll shift it. All right. See, it's getting deeper. You keep messing with it, it'll almost turn black on you. Okay. But I do need a deeper color. Okay, now I'm using this color to pop that in there so I can deepen that color. Now you got two very different grays mixing together here. See that? Okay. This is why I also use a palette knife, because it stirs it up pretty fast. Okay. I believe I may have enough to paint to block all this in. We're gonna find out right now. All right, and once again, just like I've done everything else, we'll block this in. And as I'm blocking again, I'm debating something, but we'll see, we'll see. Okay, let's block all of that in. Right now we just got this solid kind of, I don't know if I got enough. We'll find out. I'm hoping I do. Yeah, I get it kind of really craggy up here. And then really just block it in color. Just block it right in. You'll worry about the shading and texture later. Right now you're just blocking it in. As you can see, anything in the foreground generally is darker than your background. And that's just aerial perspective. You got linear perspective and aerial. And this is linear perspective. All right, there. And once again, we just block all this in. You guys are mighty quiet. Is there anybody there with me? I got the quietest group. You guys don't say nothing. Jessica, you still alive over there? Mm-hmm. Like everybody left me to my own devices. Using a little glycerin because lose up the paint because I can use some of this dark stuff too. I'll just mix it in there. Might as well. Might as well just mix it in. Don't matter. Once again, I'm just blocking all of this in. And all I need really is a dark color. I don't need it to be pretty. I just need to fill it all in. We'll make it pretty later. Okay, okay. I think everybody else, I think they left camp. Okay, there. Alrighty, let's put that back. Okay, let's draw back a little bit while we let that tack up. I'll put it up about that far. Okay, I'll put it right about in there. Let me. I keep forgetting about that curtain. Hold on, I gotta get up. The noise. What's going on? Oh, you didn't hear it. I think that should be far enough. I don't know. Oh, great. I think we got some actual real snow going on outside. Or half hail, half snow. The way it's hitting the window. Hey, Sharon, how are you? Okay, let's see if I got it right. We'll put it right about here. And I'll just pop the focus on because I know you guys can't see it that well. I was going to make the palette disappear, but it's not needed. All right. Darker, lighter. Believe it or not, this is going to be actually actually, I'm glad that these two rocks are lighter because it'll be a great compliment for this guy when I take him off. But this here will be darker. Okay. All right. Yes, yes, celebrate the birthday, woman. All right. With this color here, we're going to just go right into our white. And we'll just mix it in there like that. Once again, with this type of mixing of the rock, or this style of making the rocks, you're going to have to, it takes a nice load of paint. I don't know why I keep using this old busted palette knife. I should have bought one today, and I didn't think about it. Really. I did not think about buying one. My bad. Okay. That mix is cool, but it's all over the place. So I'll use a bigger knife to kind of put it in one general area here. All right. All right. Somebody's sending me jokes over there. Okay. I'm not going to name who, but somebody's sending me jokes. Hey Jay, how you doing? Rosemary, you want snow? You can have what we're going to get. Now we're going to have 3 different rock textures going. This one here was the Bob. Whoops. How did I do that? How did you get in there? The Bob Ross palette way. I didn't even know I put that there. All right, I'll cover it up later. We got the Bob Ross palette way. Then we did pure paintbrush here. And this one will be the tap, kind of a tap and pull deal. All right. Okay. Now this takes a bit of paint. You can see the texture. Let me make sure the light hits it correctly. There you go. That's the texture you'll see. Okay, like I said, this knife is a little bent. Now you can go in any direction you want with this. Okay, now I'll just kind of, you guys should be close enough for you guys to see me do this. And I'll just get the palette knife as flat as I can. We'll tap. As I tap, we'll kind of drag it along here. And it gives you, once again, a different look for your rock. And you can have a little more control with this fella too, on how you want it to look. All right. And I kind of know what I want to do with this one already, so. Just like that. Kind of almost make an oval shape here. Bring some of that in. Like I say, it takes quite a bit of paint because you need that texture. All right. We'll do some clever highlighting with this as I fill this stuff in. All right, we'll keep this kind of mysterious here. We'll make it kind of rounded. We'll come around like a little circle there, and keep going in that path. Make this one kind of rounded coming toward us here, just like so. We'll do a kind of downward slant right there. Kind of looks like a giant step or something. And what you're doing is you're letting we'll do another one here, another step like that. We'll come here, we'll do another one right here. We'll kind of give it a little curve here, but we'll kind of get it narrow. Can we go same thing here. Just make it a little narrow. All right. And this is the third variation of rock that you can do. And once again, I'm just tapping and it's a slight push, but it's more of a tap. You're kind of messing with the texture that's on the bottom of the knife when you do this. We'll kind of do a kind of curve thing here. We'll go down and we'll kind of go up there. Let's get a little bit of blue. Put that gray blue in there. Might want that a little darker, and since I don't have I gotta dig into a little bit of brown here. It's just to kill off some of that blue. I'm just dipping my palette knife into my sienna. I need a little more than that. I'll put it right here, but we don't need too much, just a little bit. It's going to get a cool gray again. The blue in the sienna. Now just be careful, because sienna is a brown with more it's a brown with more green in it. All right, siennas is a brown with more red in it. All right. Okay, so I just needed some of this cool bluish gray here, so I can put some cast refracted stuff going on. Okay, it is like red in here, so you go on the opposite, go in the other direction. Just like that. And we're going to go in the opposite direction. We'll kind of bring it downward here. I don't have to go down to the bottom of the page. Save some of that darker color. Okay, you can make it kind of curve around. You can really have a good time doing this stuff. Keep some of it darker and bring I bent the knife more, but I'll straighten that out. I bend it back there, flatten it out. I'm definitely gonna have to get another knife. This poor thing's been through the ringer. And kind of tap in some love right here. And right here, we'll kind of give it a little slope. Yeah, I know. It's often that I was talking about it. I should have, you know. It's my bad. I should spank my own hand. If you guys notice that, even though it's a warm, cooler gray that I'm putting down, all right, but it's not a flagrant, super bright. All right, that really won't be needed. Okay, let's take some of this, get a little bit of white. You see, look at that for gray, see that? Okay, pretty cool, right? We'll brighten it up just a tad, just like that. Now the good thing about texturing a rock the way I just did, remember there's no glycerin or anything, so once it's in there it's going to dry. But the good thing about doing textures like this is that when it comes to highlighting or whatever, all you have to do really is just wipe right across to whatever direction you want for the highlight to hit. Okay, and once again, you don't really need too much. It just, you can really slide it across. Let the paint do the work for you. As long as it's a little brighter than what you, no, that's not bright enough. It needs more white. But that's a good tester to let you know how much more white you have to add for it to be seen. You didn't see that. Okay. Once again, just a slight little slide, very slight touch. It's going to take what it wants and give you the rest. Okay. And I'm just really sliding the knife along. I highlight what I want and skip over the rest. And I don't have to have it super gaudy bright. I'm not painting snow. But it does give me an idea, thanks to Rosemary. Right here on the top, look at that. All right. I'm really just kind of outlining, the top, the front part of this rock. Okay. Okay, but you see that there's definitely distinctively, oh, I know what I've done to get that. I know what I did. Because I was about to do it again. We'll just kind of quickly cover that up. Get rid of that. Make it disappear. It's all right. Okay, I know what I did. I was trying to prove a point or example. I had white on the knife and I tapped it, and that's where that mark comes from. But you got definitely 3 distinct rock styles here. Okay, and did it on purpose. Okay, so we've done all of that. Now it's time for this fellow. All right, okay. My coffee got cold. Actually, I need a break, and I'm going to take one. I should have you look at the little dirty palette. Let me get the X-Acto knife. Now, what I've done is I did buy a brand new X-Acto knife. I got a brand new blade. Really be careful with the extremely new blade, because it's super sharp. I believe that's not red paint. I think I cut myself and I didn't know it. Extremely sharp. I don't know where I cut. I think I cut myself somewhere up here. Extremely sharp. Please just be careful. You'll cut off layers of skin. You wouldn't even know you've done it. Tape is not porous, so the glycerin and paint is still wet on here. Be extremely careful. And I do have to be careful peeling this stuff off. It is a slight pull because I am using watercolor paper. She wants to be stubborn in spots. That's okay. Come on, buddy. There you go. Get out of there. So it's a slight pull and lift. All right. Yes, it was a pain to cut all in between those legs and such. Okay. But what the real pain was the antlers. The antlers were not fun. Ugh, what an annoyance these antlers were. But hopefully it will all be worth it. Hopefully. All right, as you can see, some of the, when I did the masking and cutting, some of the tape did peel off, but that's fine. You can still see the horns were good. Okay, all right. I don't need this anymore. I can gladly pull it away. Yes, I think I'm gonna drink my coffee. Yes, that's a very good idea. Actually, you guys can actually talk to me while I try to drink this coffee. So, I'll await some of your comments. And since a majority of you don't haven't really seen me paint an animal live, there's some new faces here. I'll show you how I do that. Of course, I gotta bring him in a little bit. Just kind of fill him up, fill up the page a little. Put him slightly lower. Let's put him right about here. I think you guys get a good shot of him right there. Focus, and there we go. Now, if you can catch the mistake, the paper shifted when I was rubbing it on there. And so it was like a double image. Oh, that sucked. "17 elk." That must have been something to see. I'm sure we have them here in New York State, but it's up towards the Canada way. We get the occasional moose coming through town. Every once in a while, it heads toward the apple orchard. But even she hasn't been around in a while. She's been here by herself in the apple orchard. They tranked her, brought her back over to Canada. She came back again with her cub, with her baby. They tranked them again. Then she left the apple orchard and she trapped herself off in the local school. The kids couldn't leave. That thing was monstrous. She was the news crew was there. I mean, she was just walking around in the fenced in area. She fenced herself in, actually. The cub was right there beside her, but boy, she was big. She had to be 800 or so pounds. She was big. But they tranked both of them and brought them back up. They haven't been back since. Well, thank you, Sharon. I had an auction earlier on today, but I think it was just a bad day to have an auction, not on Black Friday. Duh, Gray, duh. But, you know. What I'm going to do beforehand, before I finish the elk, is I think I'm going to slap some mist in here. Really gentle like. I might do it a different way than what you accustomed. I know you guys are accustomed to see me dry brush some mist, but I'm going to do it a different way. I'm going to use some of this white and a lot of water. And I'm going to show you the chalky residue that it leaves behind. I talk about the chalky residue, but I never show you the example of what it does. Okay. And also, adding mist brings another plane into this painting. Okay. because you got one plane to the sky and the trees, because they're practically the same color. Then you got another plane with just the rocks here. Then you got another plane with just the rocks here that the deer is on. Then you got another plane with just the rocks right here in front. All right, but I'm gonna establish another one that brings these rocks further back. All right, and I'll just add some mist floating around. Oh yeah, it's not unusual for a male moose to hit 1,200 pounds or more, but they stand almost 7 feet at the shoulder. You don't really want to mess with them in rut or out of rut. They will kill you. You know, the only thing that'll give moose a trouble would be an Alaskan brown bear or a polar bear. But they'll fight, so it won't be an easy lunch. I'll put it to you that way. It won't be. It will be kind of rough. Let's move this painting right about here for a second. Okay. All right. We still got a palette here, so let's take. I'll take a long handle flat brush and plenty of water. I'll take get a brush full of water. I'll put the water right around in here. You guys can see it a little bit here. Yeah. Okay. Take a little bit of white, put it in the water. See, just let it slurp and soup around like that. All right. Now I'm gonna clean my brush off after this because I got some residual white that I really don't need to be in there. Now it all depends on how much water to paint ratio. All right, and remember this is titanium white. It's a different paint makeup than soft white. Okay. All right. I will draft my brush here. Okay, so we take some white here. All right, it's watered down white. Now, what this I'll do it as an example. I'll do one. I'll do it right here. Now, you see this little swirly stuff right there? Now, if I leave that alone, it'll stay there like that. But as it dries, it's going to dry see-through, okay, and it's going to keep that shape. So you can take it really thin, twirl it around, play with it like this, okay, and you can clean some of that up if you want. But as you do that, all right, it's going to create that little misty look, but it's not going to be like all overbearing and everything. I can put some together right up in here like that. It's gonna give that little hazy look. I can dry off my brush and I can come on the corners, and you gotta be kind of quick. I might not have been quick enough here, but that's all right. And you can fade out all of that, but it's water. It's gonna dry instantly. Like I said, it depends on the water to paint ratio. Okay. Let's go here. We'll put. See, I can paint over the deer with this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because we're going to paint over the deer, or paint this stuff over. And I'm just taking the brush, okay, and you can take it and you can twirl it like this if you want, and you go higher up if you want. Just twirl it around like that and just play around with it. All right. And you make it all smooth or whatever. So it gives you a different, see this? And you're getting different tones. You're getting all sorts of fun stuff happening here. It looks really like smooth. I'm sorry you guys can't see all that. It looks like a little smooth smoke going on there. Get a little more white. Now I'm gonna go heavier with the white and a little bit of water, a little thicker white, because we got to put some of this in the waterfall itself. Okay, so just brighter white, a little thicker white. For some of you, it will be the bravery test to do stuff like this. Let's put it right in there. I can scumble on some of that white there. Now, once it dries, you just go over it again, and it just makes it brighter. but you can still see through it. And maybe around in here I don't really want a hard edge. Of course you guys don't see that because, you know, I'm an idiot. There, right here in the center, right in here. I'll do it again. I'm sorry. But right in here. See, it just gets brighter and brighter as you keep doing it. And I'm just scumbling. But once again, you still see the water going through, but you still see the fog there. You follow me? As you can see, the residual paint that I have, you can add little traces of you know, little traces of mist or whatever in there. But it adds another plane to your painting. All right, I'll bring some of that love out here. All right. You just keep playing around with it. Paint right into the deer, right out of the deer there. And you don't have to have it really blatantly super stark white. All right. Let me draw this thing back because you guys are missing all of this. I'm talking and doing it, but you guys are missing it. My bad. Put it back in focus there for you. It is just me rubbing residual paint that's on the brush, rubbing it right off. All right. I'll get a little touch of water, kind of reactivate this paint a little bit, but it's turning kind of brown, so we'll get some more white. And we'll kind of sneak it up above here, all up in here a little bit. When it's up above, I'm going to take a little bit of white. I'm going to kind of wipe a lot of that off. Nope, not bright enough. It contaminated it. There we go. Just keep playing with it. Be very light, very light, very light. Very light. Keep trailing it, playing with it there. Keep playing with it. Once again, I guess a little touch of white. You don't need too much. Okay. And you just keep playing around with it. Just like that. It gets brighter. Very gentle. The same technique, you can do it over a pond. Okay, wherever you feel it needs it. Okay. If I think, you know, some of the waterfall needs a little more of a touch up, I'll kind of add some more. It's just a little band of fog going across the falls there. Just like that. All right. Yeah, I'll probably do it on a non-holiday. Yeah, that was just bad timing on my part. That was kind of my fault. My bad. But it's okay. There. All right. That's about enough of that for that anyway. Okay, let's start on this guy. Now you get yourself a good mix of color. All right, I kind of sort of know the color scheme for this fellow, but once again, just like the rocks, we're gonna block this guy in. Okay. Okay. Let's get some of this umber here. We'll put the umber in. Well, we'll kind of put the umber and gray together. It's all right. Water. We're gonna use water for this mix. Why am I gonna use water? Because water dries faster. Okay, I definitely have enough. And we're just gonna block him in. All right. So we'll just block this guy in. Now, when you do an animal, they do have a tendency to grow on you, because you don't want to necessarily go outside the lines, but you want to kind of hide that black line. But that line is so thin, and he's brown, so it's all right. It's okay. Need a little more water. Now, just like titanium white, the umbers have grittiness to them. Okay. Once again, I'm just blocking this fellow in. Just blocking him in with color. There's a few ways to do animals if you're not accustomed to doing them. I don't necessarily have to look at the photograph for this guy. Now, if as I'm doing this, I find that the paint's a little sticky, then I'll just add a little more water, but we should be all right. I'll get a touch of water there, put it right in here. And remember, there's a little bit of gray in this too. I'm not worried about it being perfectly solidly blocked in, because it actually helps with the texture of the fur. So once again, hashtag don't panic. We're just blocking this big fellow in. Block him right in. Actually, he's a little darker under here, but we're going to take care of that in a second or two. You'll see. You'll see. All clever little things you can do here. All right. Now watch this. I'm going to use a little bit of this brown. We're going to put the brown, well, we'll put it right here. It doesn't matter. Get some of that blue and brown, slap it in there. Get some red, pop it in there. I always tend to use too much red, but that's all right. More brown. More blue. Keep stirring it. Stir it up. Stir it up. Touch more blue in there. Okay. Keep stirring it up. Alrighty then. Now I'm gonna use a little brown in this. Now I'm dragging the brown a little further down. I want the color mixed in there. But we do need a difference in color. That's why you see me dragging it downward here. Okay, all right. Watch this. Right in here. Boom. It gets a little darker in there. A little bit darker. It's got shadows working in here. Once again, I'm just blocking in tones and stuff. Yeah, I told you you're not going to see that black line. That black line will disappear. Take my brush and thin out a nice sharp wedge there. Up under here. Now, even though this is a weird type of deep, funky, browny purple, it doesn't look like that once this paint dries. So you're kind of creating an optical illusion. Your eye fools you. Okay. In here, he's got a little bit of shadow over here under this leg. I'm gonna use a smaller brush, an even smaller brush, because I don't want to do it sloppy. So I'll use a rigger brush. Animals, I gotta move this thing over here. Take a little time. Where's my rigger brush? Ah, there you are. Come here, buddy. Get a bit of water there. So for fine lines and such, kind of tighten it up a little bit there. Just like that. You can tighten that leg right up. All right, all right. Fill in some of those spots there. Okay, all right. Okay, let's start to fill this guy in a little bit. We're gonna take some of this color. You guys can see me here. And we're gonna kind of come up here on his nose a little bit. Right in here. Up in here. That darkness going right up in here. And I'm not gonna have a perfectly neat line. Some of it kind of goes out. Just like that. Got that little dark spot there. We're gonna take the same color, you dip a little water in it here. Yeah, I seen it. I didn't see it, I heard it. A little hail, a little snow up here. And I gotta remember, no, it's darker out here. His ears are darker, they're lighter in the inside. See, when it's all said and done, you're not going to see that black outline much. Okay, just like that. Oh, yes, important. Hold on, guys. Important. That's right, one of the most important things to do. Let's kind of do his antlers here. It is a stag, of course. So we'll slap some of these antlers here. As long as we are, as long as you guys can. Wow. Yeah. Well, Bruce is at a higher elevation, so he's gonna get hit. I know they gave us a winter warning, so, and I did hear some stuff going on out there, so. But I've already taken the dog out, so I don't have to go out there and experience any of that. I'm just dipping my tiny little brush into a little more water. This is thick paint here, so I can get away with, you know, doing all of what you're seeing right now. And I'm using water with the paint, so it will dry, it'll evaporate rather quickly. So I can put little cute highlights on this a little bit later. Okay, well, since I made a tape mistake, I just joined it in this one big horn there. All right, okay. You don't have to make it exactly super picture perfect. Add your own little variances to it if you must. It's all right. I got a little rip here. I'll just paint over the rip. See, once again, you're not gonna really see those thin black lines. Well, I knew that the antlers are dark. I knew that the fur is dark, so I could, you know, kind of get away with a black line. If I knew I was going to run into any trouble, or if the animal's lighter, I wouldn't use something so dark, or I would block it in white or something to cover up the. I'll make this a little taller up there. I would block it in with white, and then use the colors. All right. Once again, it's just a tiny little rigger brush to get into the little details here. Make it a little solid there. Okay. All right. Let's play with him. Let's play with the body a little bit here. A few ways you can do it, because if you don't necessarily have the brushes that I have, then me showing you with a brush that you don't have, it, you know, kind of defeats the purpose. Okay. All right, let's take a little bit of white. We'll put it right here. Oh, we'll throw in some of this. We'll put it right in here like that. Once again, we'll do some dry brushing here. Now, for this animal's fur, okay, let's start with his barrel-shaped chest here. Okay, and what you do very lightly, all right, you can pretty much start at the top, and very lightly here, I'll just kind of see that little, keep that circular barrel shape. I'll turn the brush around a little bit. And you just keep working at that. You can accentuate certain areas of him. Make it a little darker. But it's still more or less a dry brush when you do it. A little touch of water in there, loosen that paint up a bit. If you feel you did too much, or it's coming out a little too strong, you can always fade it back. Right up by his leg there. And you pick and choose your spots. All right, pick and choose your spots. Okay. When you want to add some of this. Some of that on his front paw there, front leg, not necessarily a paw. Up in the front here, curve it. It's his chest and his front haunch there. doing the dry brushing thing. The fur on his neck is a wee bit darker. Now adding white is that residue thing again. Okay, now you can go into some, I'll show you, you go into some soft glazing and you can darken all of that up. You'll still see this, but it will be a little darker. All right, let's go into that weird kind of brown purpley mix here. There we are. The tiniest bit of water. Wipe off my brush real quick. Up under here. We're going to get a little separation there. A little bit of white mixed into it. Just to separate that leg. Kind of blur in that shadow side a little bit. Still want to keep the roundness of that guy. Just blur it in just a little bit. I'll take some of this darker color up around his chest area and we'll shadow it a little just to bring that leg out. Okay, I don't really have to add too much in here. He's already got a kind of a barrel chest to begin with. Take a little bit of brown and we're going to deepen that front leg. We're using all sorts of purples and purple browns and all of that just to do that with this fella. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of water to my brush. I'm gonna just come out here because I got residual paint there. Okay, and I might want to kind of just deepen that a little bit back there, just a little slight bit. Okay, all right. Let's get a little bit of. I can't add yellow to this brown because it's going to turn green. Now let's add a little red to it. When I say a little red, I always end up doing that. So let's get some more brown. We'll put it right in here. Now adding red kills that green, so we got that tan going on. Okay. So adding red to brown that has green in it, and there you go. Okay, add a little water there. We'll loosen that up just a little bit. No, I really don't want to lighten it up. Maybe a little, just a tad, just a touch. Okay. And now you can see the different color variations there. Okay. All right. I'm not concerned about the inside. I'm doing the outside. All these little fur and stuff hanging out here on the edge. We'll add our little highlights and stuff to this a little bit later. I just want to roughen that outside edge there. Just be a little careful for that shadow. The shadow, I want incorporated in, so I'm going to color over that, but it's got to be light enough to where it will be seen. So let's get a nice sharp point to our, a little touch of water, loosen that paint up a little bit, make it a little transparent, so when we go over that dark area, it'll still be seen. When it dries, you'll see it. So hashtag don't panic. We'll be adding a little stroke lines to his face. I'm trying to cover as much of his face with this large brush that I can. It's another reason why I don't probably do animals a lot, because the time involved. But if it comes out right, it's pretty cool. Okay, we'll use a smaller brush and we'll go back to the rigger brush here. You're still here? Almost done watching The Little Mermaid. Oh, okay. The Little Mermaid. I've never seen it. I have, no, never seen it. I'm pretty sure my kids have. Nope, that was not one of the movies I had to sit and watch a billion times. On a VCR, no less, at the time. Good Lord. What makes it even sadder is that you start singing the songs along with the kids. Ugh, boy. Ugh. Some images you just want to block right out of your mind. Let's take a little bit more yellow in that brown. Okay. We're going to get a little touch of white in that. A little greenish. Let's pop some more brown in there. That'll work. And I'm just little dots right in here, right above where his eyes are. One thing, I'm covering up the black. Just fill it right in. If you want it to be a little brighter, just add a touch more white to it. It's your preference, really. And I'm doing it with dots. Far away, it would just look like fur. Okay. All right. Okay, let's add a little bit of what I don't have. I don't see it. Drat. Let's see. Let's see if I can nudge a little bit there. Nope. Yep. It made a liar out of me. There it is. A little bit of this blue, a little bit of white. Right up in here in his ear. I'm going outside the line. Look at little hairs going on out there. Like so. Do it here. This is where going outside the line kind of counts for you. Put it right in there. Like so. Alright, the further away, the better it looks. Trust me. Obviously right here is kind of whitish, so we'll put the blue in there. I'm gonna get a little bit of white, just a little bit. And we're gonna play around right in here. Because basically I just want to cover up that black line there. Like so. Just like that. And I'm going in a circular pattern. Okay, still want to keep that roundness. Okay, all right. Let's take well, hold on. Ran out of Prussian blue. Just need a little dot of it. Okay, let's take a little bit of Prussian blue. We'll put it right here. A little brown makes it Guess that'll do. Let's take a little bit of water and we'll kind of loosen that up a little bit. I'm gonna rinse off my brush. We're gonna get it. It's called glazing. I'm just using the water in the color. All right, and we'll play around with some of that right in here. Now remember, this stuff is gonna dry. Okay, and glaze this leg a little bit. It will dry it a little bit lighter than what you're looking at right now. Okay. Oh. Just like that. We'll come over here, add a little love in there like that. We'll darken this front haunch right up in here a little bit. Okay. Okay, just a little bit. Okay. Now you only got to second it, get a swipe, and then blend it. You can keep doing it to get darker. All right, but you see it there, but it's not blatant. You got me? All right. And if it's not dark enough, you just kind of pat it away a little bit. You're not really getting rid of everything. Okay. But you can kind of see the color shift going on there. All right. If I need some of this color a little more opaque, I'll put it in there. I'm not wiping, I'm pressing. I want the striations in there, but they don't have to be so bold, so I'm just pressing it. And as it dries, it will look like I'm just pressing. That's all. The imprint is still there, but obviously it's not as bold. Okay. Behind his eye there. Give it some depth in there. Brings the front of that face out. Right in there. Do it here too. Just a little bit, see? How it brings that face out a little more. Okay. I'll adjust the focus. Alright. Let's go into a little bit of deep maroon here for 1 second. I'm hoping this brush will keep a pretty decent sharp edge, so that I'm not too worried about. Watch this. For his cute little horns there, just kind of give him a nice little shadow there. A little bit of it right in here. Let's give them a little something right down here on the bottom. Like that. Come over here, do the same thing. Give it a slight touch right here on the bottom, right here, trailing, right here. Put it right in there like that. All right. Put it right there. We're gonna get some more. I'm flipping because this brush keeps a pretty decent edge. Now, if you want to use a script liner or something, use a script liner. Whatever you feel comfortable with using, all right? If, doing something like this makes you a little nervous. Okay. certain spots, just a little touch there. Just building certain shadows there underneath his fur. And so I'm actually just building up shadow. All right. Don't overdo it. Do a section at a time. Do a piece at a. All right. Take care. Sharon, thank you very much for coming by. You just do a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. Okay. Let us go back to our rigger brush here. We'll get a little bit of this, maybe a little more blue in there. I don't necessarily have to add little dots or whatever for a little glint. You don't necessarily need to do it. But if you feel you can get away with it, go for it. If you can feel you can get away with it, go for it. All right. Only if you know if you can get away with it. Okay, let's go with this tan. Let's get some white. This little tan right in here, kind of around the white. That's disappointing, but it's all right. Get a little bit of water in there, just like that. Now with the rigger brush, get it to a thinner point as you can. Okay, as you can, and little dashes. Going in the direction of his fur. It will take some water. It is a rigger brush. It is a tiny little thing. Okay. And just be very careful, little dashes. Play around where those highlights, those dark spots are with this guy. And you stop and look at it for a bit. Go on the other side where you think the light will be catching. It needs to be a little bit brighter. Let's add a little bit more white. All around in this area. Go in the direction of the animal's fur. I'm really playing underneath the that dark. All right. I'll pretty much keep the center somewhat darkened there. Some of that highlight there on this back, something like that. Just let the paint break. A little bit on his haunches back there. You can build it up to where you really want it to kind of shine through there. Okay. I'll keep messing with it till I get the brightness I feel it needs. If you feel you put too much on, you can always do what? You can always take it right back out. Up to you. Up to you. I'll add some curvatures for fur. Just wipe it away a little bit. Okay. I'll kind of highlight. Now when I say highlight, I'm not gonna, put obviously stark white there. And sometimes just a little bit of broken line will be more than enough. Okay. Just to give a kind of a trace of where the animal's body is, a little fur. The light catches here and there off this big fella. Okay, so hopefully I'm showing you something here that'll help you. We're gonna go back into this little maroon mix here. Because once you start adding things, some stuff that you thought was dark might not really be that dark enough. So we'll kind of step it up a little bit here. So you're really just adding a little bit of depth to your beastie. You don't need it to be super gaudy. All right, just a little bit. Okay, just a little. That can probably deal with a little more shine on it if I had enough white. I'm really trying to scrape up the last bit of that white to try to situate this guy a little bit. I'm trying. Doing animals online, you got fur, antlers, hooves, it's gonna take a little while, So I can understand if people don't want to watch it all the way through. It does take a minute. All right, where are we at here? Oh yeah, because we're at 221 now. Didn't mean for it to be this long, but doing something like this with all this detail or whatever, and to make it look like an elk, don't really want people to like stop and question what the heck this thing is. That kind of defeats the purpose. All right, this I guess I'll do it in red. It might show, it might not. Yeah, it might not show, but it's all right. It's there. I'd like to thank everybody who did endure watching all of this. Well, it's definitely a signature they're gonna have to look for. Okay. Let's put that back. Let's put that back. My Lord, let's clean this real quick. Let it sit for a second. So let's take off the tape here. You guys don't need to see that part. Let's get rid of that. I think you guys will be able to see the whole thing right here. Let's pop on the focus there. All right, let's see what we got. I choose to tape my borders. Gives a slightly more professional look. just my opinion. I have done paintings without a border, so it really depends on subject. All right. This is much thinner tape than the this is not half-inch tape. And she does not want to stick in one piece there. I think I taped this board up. Yeah, I did. There we go. Alrighty. I did give this title, Not in My House, or This Is My House, something like that. I gave this crazy title to it. Let me scrape off my mess here off this board real quick. I gotta do it now while I'm thinking about it. And I gotta get into the habit of really just cleaning this board when I'm finished, instead of letting it wait for the next day. That's really not too wise. I mean, it will still come off. This I use rubbing alcohol. You can use Windex. It, you know, same thing. It take it right off. It just comes right off. Okay. And the board looks as clean as like you never used it at all. Okay. So as I'm talking to you, this board's just about clean, to be honest with you. I'll spray it again. Get a paper towel here. And that's it. Just clean it off. I say it only takes a second. And I'll pop the camera and I'll show you. It looks like I never used it. See? That's it. Clean as a bee. All right. Anyway, I don't know if anybody's talking. Sometimes my chat freezes, so I have to pop this on, take it off and put it back on again. Nope. Okay. But anyway, there she is. Or, I'm sorry, there he is. In his little glory. Once again, it's a painting that you don't commonly see me do many of. This was, I think this is, no, it's not my first elk. This is probably my second or third elk. It's been many years in between. But yeah. So, hope you guys like it. You know, the shadows kind of outline his head and everything. Got his little highlights and whatnot. And see how all that glazing and all that dry brushing actually looks like his fur. Okay, he got his little highlights there. I didn't have to make it ridiculously bold and out there. It looks like I cut my hand open. I did not. But just a little dry brushing. You know, let the texture of the paper do the work for you. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that's about it. Let me get my little handy keyboard here. Thank you for enduring yet another long session. I'm sorry, but I kind of was in a mood for an elk, so there it is. All right. Okay. Thank you very much. I'll see you when I see you. Enjoy your Saturday. And, well, thank you very much, my dad. I appreciate it. So I guess I didn't put everybody to sleep. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. And bye-bye.